Good evening and welcome to Cherries Red Army live on YouTube. It's the fan show. We're still smiling. It's another game unbeaten. 16 now because Rayan finished beautifully at Craven Cottage to take his game to 4 goal contributions in 4 games. Feel like it's going to be a really good stream with a few weeks left of football, club football to go. Bournemouth are on the cusp. I said it last week. We got 1 foot on the plane. We're going to talk about it in the next hour to an hour and a half. We are so close to playing in Europe next season. I've got Steve with me this evening. Matt, Aaron, they're behind the scenes. They're ready to come on. They were there. They were in London. Some of them were on the boat. Everyone had a good time. And everyone had a drink or two, I'm sure. But we'll hear from Matt and Steve about the boat and Aaron as well. Do get interactive and chatty in the interactive chat. If you're a subscriber to Cherries Red Army, you can get involved. You just need to be a subscriber for about 5 minutes. So do that, get involved and speak to other fans because it's a positive moment for Bournemouth. We've got lots of other stuff coming up this evening. Guest the player will be here with a twist again. Later on, we want to try and see how the table's going to end, and you can play and get involved with this. We're going to try and predict the last 2 Premier League game weeks. That's later on in the show, so do hang around. But of course, we're going to talk about Manchester City next, and then we'll sort of brush over Nottingham Forest because that's coming on the last day of the season. Do hit the like button on this video in this live interactive stream. And if you're watching this back on replay, a massive thank you from me and the team for joining us on this video. But we do need to take a look back at some of the comments from last week because we also need to talk again about one guy, the Brazil-LIANT Rayan. Rayan, he is back in the goal contributions again. So David Codron from Australia, thanks for joining us nice and early where you are. 1-0 to the Cherries. Passports expired, by the way.
We can only wax lyrical about it, or we can only be positive, can't we? So
we'll do it, and then we'll be celebrating.
I think the players really, really want this for the club, yes, but for Iraola as well.
Let's go on Saturday. We can do this. Mark's obviously just putting 1-0 to the Cherries. By the way, you wouldn't have seen this, but Steve was dancing in the background. He'll say he wasn't, but he definitely was dancing in the background.
Dancing, was it?
I don't know what it is.
It's apparently what it's called.
Right, Steve Hensman, it's been a few weeks. Got lots to talk about, as always, on these streams. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm very good, mate. I'm in good spirits, as I think probably most of our fan base is at the moment with the heady heights we're at the moment. And a good weekend was had by many. I was on the boat with Matt. Aaron couldn't unfortunately make it, but he was at the ground, and yeah, it was a party carnival atmosphere thanks to Rayan.
Matt, good to see you again. Brief introduction, and then we'll get stuck into the meat on the bones about what happened at the weekend. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well, Kirk. Yeah, just about recovered, as we were saying before we went on air. Not from the drinking pre-match on the boat, more from my blood pressure and heart palpitations during the match, I think. Yeah, just about recovered come Thursday night, but what a day.
Listen to John Spark in the chat as well. He's saying, don't forget to hit the like button. Smash that like button. Talk Fan TV as well in there. And coming to you, Aaron, because Mark Singleton saying hello to us in the chat. It's going to be the biggest week since -17 in Bournemouth's history so far for the Cherries. Ooh. Wow. I mean, we spoke about moments of history in our club, and this is going to be right up there as a really fun one. But good to see you again, Aaron, and again we're going to be talking about lots of good stuff.
Yeah, great to be on again. Happy days, isn't it? You know, I mean, the boys said I wasn't obviously able to be on the boat, but it was a massive party atmosphere at Fulham. One of the best atmospheres I've ever been involved in, if I'll be honest with you. And I was only a 10-year-old boy when Tony Seeley scored in Craven Cottage in that 1987 season. but it was reminiscent of that. The scenes of there, the balloons, the crowd, 3,000 plus Cherries, and good times. And two games left, and it's there for us.
Okay, let's go straight into it, because it was a 1-0 win at Craven Cottage. We were hoping for the best last week as we went into the weekend. It was a massive 3 points. It ended up 10 against 10, Steve, because Ryan Christie got himself sent off. Fulham done us a favour by also equaling in the teams out before half time, and Rayan got the all-important goal. So do tell me how you feel at full time, or how you felt at full time after that game. But as you'll see, Steve, Bournemouth, the Cherries, we did keep 6th going into game 37.
To be fair, I was pretty shattered by the end of it. It was a bit of it was an eventful game. Let's put it that way. There was, like you say, there was the 2 red cards. I think both are red cards. I was just speaking to you off air. I think when we get ours, all the energy drains out of you, and you think, oh no, here we go, we've thrown it away. And I can only say it's just poor game management or moment of madness from Fulham, because you think they've got to win that game as much as we have. Everything's on the line, and you go a man to get a man advantage, and they were the better side, I thought, first half anyway. You get the man advantage, and you just think, right, manage the game. You don't need to do anything silly. And literally 5 minutes later, stupid challenge, and gets himself sent off. I saw he apologised to the Fulham fans after the game, but it was a definite red card, 2-foot challenge off the deck. So he can't have any complaints really. Neither can Christie. But then we go into the second half, and you think, actually, this probably suits us. It's opened up a little bit. It's there's a bit more space to play our game. Rayan got on the ball a bit more. He was bursting forward. He made a couple of decent runs at the defence, and we end up getting the goal. And then from there, you just think, right, we should go on and win this quite comfortably now. And then it was the opposite. We kind of let them back in. They had a few chances. They had the one that came off the bar, and I think, this is just typical Bournemouth. It's never easy, never done and dusted. And then you go down the other end, and you have, was it Traffert first hits? You think, oh, that's got to be a goal. No, blocked on the line. And then about 2 minutes later, you get Amin Adli with a goal my Dan could have put in, and you just think, why can we never just do it the easy way? And by the end of all that, I was absolutely, I was torn to bits. But there was a little bit of alcohol involved, I must admit, but that aided that. But as Aaron said, with the atmosphere there in the ground was immense. It was easily the best atmosphere of the season, if not since we've probably been going watching Premier League football.
Yeah, I couldn't make this one, and I've been to Fulham so many times, and I'm just sitting in Bournemouth, loads to do. I just couldn't make it, unfortunately. I am at the Forest game on the last game of the season, and I was just like, I've been to Fulham. I think we've had draws there recently. Obviously, we've had some good wins there in the 5-1 in the Championship, but I was like, oh my God, the atmosphere. Although the game didn't sound like it was amazing, I had it on the radio, but I was just gutted not to be there. The atmosphere sounded amazing. But Matt, we'll come to those chances that we didn't create, daylight that Andoni is always looking for. Unfortunately, we talked about doing that against Crystal Palace, creating that gap. We didn't quite do it, but we got over the line. Ryan Christie, he's 90 miles per hour. He's full of energy. I don't think it's malicious, but it's a red card.
It is. having watched it back, I mean, at the time in the stand, I was right up in that top corner.
Felt quite innocuous, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And when he obviously gives him a yellow card straight away, and you're thinking, fair enough. And then, straight away they're checking for a possible red card. So I was fuming at the time. There was a tirade of abuse coming out of my mouth. So I apologise to anybody that was around me. I was saying, game's gone. This is a joke. And even when he got sent off, it got even worse. The anger within me was basically part of it was because I thought we'd thrown it away at that point, our big chance of European football, because you think we're not winning this game from here. We're already second best, I think, as Steve said. So then Christie goes off and you're thinking, that's it, we've blown it. But surely, he's given a yellow card on field. It's going to have to have been a heck of a nasty challenge, which it didn't look like, to overturn that and make it a red. So that was my anger, to be honest, with everyone around me. So, like I said, I apologise for the foul, abusive language. But having looked at it then at half time, you think, it's a definite red. And by the same token, I think Anderson's challenge, again, in real time, because it was down the other end of the pitch, you're thinking, he's not giving a red for this. This is just to level things up, and he's not going to give it. It's a yellow. It gives a yellow again straight away, and then they check that for a possible red, and you're thinking, "Hello, we're back on here." And then he gives a red. It was just a bizarre sequence of events, really, in that first half, which was very scrappy at times. Anyway, 11v11. We didn't get a hold of the game. I felt that it needed Tyler Adams. I said that on this show last Thursday. I felt Adams needed to start on Saturday. And he went with Christie, and I felt we were getting a little bit overrun in the middle of the park in the first half. I thought Lukic and Kearney got a grip of the game, and they were dominating proceedings really in that midfield. So Fulham, as a result, were the better team and had the better possession, territorial advantage, and a couple of sort of opportunities really. I can remember a header, cross being swept in, and a header going narrowly wide. I think we rode our luck a little bit. So the two sendings off obviously were the turning point. The Fulham sending off was the pivotal moment for us, wasn't it? Because it got us back in the game and it gave us fresh impetus. Half-time whistle was blown. We could reset. We could go again. And second half, as Steve said, was a different story. I felt for long periods, we were probably the better side. Although at 1-0, you are expecting us to maybe kick on a bit, and just so frustrating we couldn't get that second. And then as time goes on, you get deeper and deeper. As is always the case, it gets more and more tense. There's so much at stake. And invariably, when you're missing chances up one end, they're going to get opportunities at the other end. And it was an absolute roller coaster. I was just so relieved to hear the final whistle. And just briefly touching on the atmosphere, I've heard I've seen Fulham fans on social media saying how poor our fans were.
Yeah, ridiculous. They're winding up.
It's got to be a minority, because I thought the atmosphere Saturday was superb, back to how it was in the old days, the Championship promotion season, early days in the Prem. It's not been like that for a while. So I could take it from Leeds United saying that, but not from Fulham. I'm not having that, because their atmosphere is shocking.
It's a bit pot calling the kettle black, that, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, it was great. It was a great day.
So it was a big win, Aaron. Big, massive 3 points. I think I said earlier on X before the game, it was for me a must-win game, but it was also a must-not lose. It was one of those balanced fixtures where it was likely Brighton were going to beat Wolves, which they did comfortably. So to maintain and keep sixth, it was really important we won the game, but we had to make sure we got something. Once the celebrations had calmed down, and it would have taken a few hours, of course, you start to think about the next two fixtures and the impact. And I come to you and I suggest that's Christie's season's done, because that's a straight red. So we start to look at that and go, fortunately, Tyler Adams looks like he's come back from his injury quite well going into the Manchester City game. But it is a shame that we're not going to have Ryan Christie and his energy for those final two games.
Yeah, a big shame. I mean, as Matt said, it was probably his poorest game for a while, actually, the first half. He didn't really get to grips. He wasn't running with the ball. He wasn't really dominating the play like he has been in such amazing form the last few games. And actually, I think, as Matt said as well, it kind of, the first half they were the better team. And without a doubt, I think the 10v10 suited us, and we were the better team after the break. And Tyler Adams was absolutely superb, the sort of play you want in that situation. But he is a loss, Ryan Christie, obviously, because you want options in there. He's playing against Man City and especially Nottingham Forest. You're going to want options in there. I think hopefully Lewis Cook is going to be back for the next. I mean, they keep saying that every single week. He's almost back, so hopefully he will be back now, because then he gives us cover in two positions as well, not in the midfield, which we now need with Ryan Christie being out, but also he can play right back as well. So hopefully he will be back. But yeah, otherwise, and Scott and Adams will be starting for us in the next two games, I'm sure. So yeah, I think Scotland will probably be happy about it. He gets a nice 2-game rest before the World Cup. So Steve Clark was in the stands. He'd probably be delighted about it. But yeah, it was a funny one, because I was a bit different to the other boys. When it actually, because I was a bit lower down than them, and when it actually happened, I actually said to the people around me, I said, he did look high. He did look high there. And then when it was a yellow, I was like, oh, thank God for that. Then obviously it kicked in, and it was a horrible moment, as they said, because, with what happened during the week before, and then with going down to 10 men, you suddenly think, oh, it's going to all turn around very quickly. But it was a must not lose game. But the beauty of winning that game, as I said straight away, is it knocks Fulham and Sunderland out. So that's two teams who could have caught us. They can't catch us anymore. So it just narrows the field. So if we're talking purely for Europe, we can talk about Champions League later, but if we're talking purely for Europe, which ultimately is all I really care about, if I'm being honest, top 8, there's only 2 teams now who are going to miss out, not 4 or 5. So yeah, just keep knocking them out week by week.
Yeah. John Spark, who's having a night off this evening. Tavernier has played in centre midfield.
That's true. Very true.
There is enough cover. Just a shame we won't have Ryan as an option.
Yeah. That's a very good call, actually, John. Yeah.
Steve Connor, and we've got lots of ability and we've got lots of options wide now, haven't we? With Gannon Doak, Brooks, Adley can come in. Our unbeaten run started when Semenyo left. I'm worried it ends when he comes back next Tuesday. Not confident about the City game at all. They'll be going all out for the win. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit because they got a big game at the weekend. Sure. Steve, I want to talk about someone else following that win. And as we come off the stream last week, and I didn't pick this news up to the morning, I was knackered, but the WhatsApp chat that we have was going a little bit crazy in the evening of Thursday. And I don't really want to bring it to this conversation and to this stream because it's a positive one, but it was to do with Alex Jimenez. Very, very quickly, the club had said that they were going to basically take him out the firing line and Alex Jimenez wouldn't be part of the squad at Fulham. So then you start to see what fans are talking about and circulating on social media, who you're going to play at right back. And I was seeing options of Jimenez going out there, bring Diakite in. And for me, it was quite obvious you bring a guy in who's maybe not had a lot of football of late. Yes, he's on the wrong side of his career, but he's got over 400 appearances for the club. He will do a job for this club. And I think he's got an extension. So he's got one more year coming next season. He might have an opportunity to play a few games in Europe. If there's someone that could step up and do a job at right back, and I think he started rusty, you can correct me because you were there, but I was listening to the game and I don't think he had a blistering star right back, Adam Smith I'm talking about, but he got better as the game went on. And then as the game closed out, we got the win, lots of respect, a lot of praise for Smudge. He came in at late notice, did a job. I didn't expect anything else.
Yeah, he was Adam Smith. He will never let you down. He never has let us down, really. Every time he's come in this season, even if he hasn't been playing a lot of football, he's come in and, like you say, he's done a job and he's experienced enough and wise enough and played enough football, both at multiple levels, that I'm never worried when he comes in, even if he hasn't played much football lately. Yes, he was a little bit rusty. Any player's going to be. We weren't the best in the first half. He got pulled out of position a couple of times early doors, but he settled into it and he was his usual reliable, dependable self. And for, you touch on his age and he's still getting up and down the pitch. So massive kudos to him. I'm not surprised he's got another extension. He's obviously fit as a fiddle.
Because the thing is, Steve, let me come in there, because the thing is, his next battle is potentially Doku, who's banging form, quick, right? Now, Adam Smith, this is where his experience come in. It looks scary, doesn't it? It looks scary that he's going to be up against Doku. But as you know, as a defender, he needs to defend differently because he's not going to have the legs to keep up with him. So he needs to position his body better. He needs to make sure the loss of speed, he gets back in another way.
Yeah, it's the old adage of your first 2 yards when you get to that set, or you're not that quick. It's like Senesi as well. They're up in your head. And it's reading the game and positioning yourself well and trying to predict what's going to unfold in front of you. And that is a skill and an art in itself, especially for a defender. I think I think where it will probably negatively affect us is he won't be able to. He'll probably be a bit more cautious and not be bombing on so much, which might be a little bit of a problem because. It's one of them for this City game. I don't know whether it plays into our hands, them coming at us. You usually would say, yes, it does. But they are going to literally throw the kitchen sink at us. But yeah, I still don't have any problems with it. I mean, what's your other option? To be honest, I don't see. You could put Lewis Cook there again, I suppose, or push James Hill and bring Diakite in. But I don't see why you would upset the centre back pairing. It's brilliant at the moment. Of all the options you probably got available, and Andoni's got available to himself, it's the most natural one. It's the one that makes the most sense. He's a wily old fox, Smudger, and he'll give as good as he gets. Whether it's he certainly won't be leaving himself in a foot race because he knows he's not going to win that. What he'll do,
I'd be more concerned if it was like halfway through the season this all happened. To be honest with you, but he's got 2-3 games. He's more than capable of playing.
Yeah. And I just don't look. There will be times when Doku gets past him. Doku will get past most fullbacks, regardless. But that's not to say he's not the best option we've got. And I'm completely relaxed with it.
And very quickly as well, Aaron, when we're so good on the field and on the pitch and in such a good moment, the last thing we wanted was something negative off the pitch. And I come out on that Friday night. I was just listening to what was going on, seeing what the club was saying around news that was circulating about Jimenez. And the first thing I wanted to say to anyone who follows me on X, for example, that want to take notice of things I say is the focus. Let the club deal with that. I put faith that they'll do the right thing and they'll get the facts. But the focus had to be on the pitch on Saturday. We are on the verge of greatness, and it was really important that we kept the focus on there and we didn't have this disruption land us at Craven Cottage and we dropped points. And that's why I think Smudge was really important there, and because he would have got the arm round the lads, round the young lads, and gone, right, block everything out, lads, because some of them, might have close relationships with Alex Jimenez. And it was really important that Adam Smith was in there, some experienced players were in there, and they would have got the younger lads and go, right, job to do. 3 games to go, lads. We all want to play in Europe.
But that was my worry, other than the obvious of potentially losing a fantastic, unbelievable player. I think we all agree on that. We have to let due process take its course, and punishments have to be delivered if that's the case. But in the selfish there and then moment, we lost a fantastic, unbelievable right back, and my worry then was the team harmony, as you say, because things like that can really affect a group of players, whether you like it or not. And the worst times have probably happened because it was such a pivotal 3 games for the club. But as you say, not only just obviously as Steve said, Adam Smith's a perfectly capable right back who's never let us down. I think regardless of getting them together after the Jimenez incident, just having Adam Smith's experience on the pitch in these kind of critical games is probably worth a lot anyway. I think he's seen it all, he's done it all. Yeah, he might not have the legs anymore, but if you want someone to come in for 2 or 3 games that can get us over the line, then it was brilliant. He grew into the game. He was outstanding. But yeah, I think that kind of dispelled it. The fact we got a clean sheet, the fact we got a win, I think made everyone feel a lot better, because it would have been very easy to use that as an excuse if we had lost that game, to sort of say, oh well, look what happened, that's disrupted everything now, it's all going to go Pete Tong. But to get the win straight after against a rival who would have gone 1 point behind us, completely knocked them out the Europe picture, a clean sheet again, and Adam Smith, especially second half, it just I didn't think he was going to last 90 minutes, to be honest with you, because he was putting so much effort in. And even at the end, bombing forward, I was just saying, just stay back. You don't need to. We won the lap. You don't need to bomb forward. But he was. And that moment at the end was special, wasn't it? If you remember,
we were all chanting his name.
Yeah, he came and he came over and he touched the badge like this, and he said it meant so much to him, because he's obviously been a legend for the years. He's never one of the ones who's taken the limelight and had that moment, but they all kind of pushed him to the front. And yeah, I couldn't think of a better ending than that.
Can I just make another point about the Jimenez and Smith thing? There's an argument to say that Jimenez is a bit rash at times, and he gives away cheap fouls in and around the box, which I've seen him do to our detriment. I can't remember who it was at home that time when he's given away penalties. You won't get that from Smith. No. So you've got to look, on the balance of it. You've got to look at completely different dimensions to their play, and from what, like you say, bags of experience, Smudger, and he won't do anything silly. Whereas you never know with Jimenez. I think he's a little bit rough around the edges with some of his play sometimes.
So a lot of smiles in the stadium, Matt. A lot of smiles on Bournemouth shirts, and one of the players that I feel like we really do need to talk about, and we've talked about some good players over the weeks in this unbeaten run, but I feel like we need to mention it. And it's quite amazing, actually, I think, because I've been a little bit critical of this guy, and I'm going to talk about our goalkeeper. I'm not as critical as I was for Neto, and Petrovic is young. He's got a big price tag over him. He's been available for every game, so you've got to give that to him. I'll be honest with you, you were talking about losing nails last week in games that are just tight and we can't create distance. I lose nails when Petrovic won't catch the ball enough for me, but he had a clean sheet at Craven Cottage, and that's 11 clean sheets this season. And I think that's a record. People in the chat might be able to verify that for me, but that might be a record in the Premier League, I think. Petrovic, I feel like we have to talk about him because I feel like he has been a little bit Marmite with fans this season. 11 clean sheets, though. 11 clean sheets.
Yeah, you can't really argue with that. I mean, obviously, credit goes to the back four in front of him as well for that. Massive credit. You have to say that Senesi and Hill have been absolutely outstanding in front of him, and the two fullbacks as well. However, he has improved, and I think the arrival of Mandos in January was the catalyst to that improvement, really. It just gave him a kick up the backside that he rightly needed. I think he got maybe a little bit too comfortable in the position. He knew there was no real serious competition behind him. Don't
forget about Fraser Forster.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's no real serious competition. So he's still quite a young goalkeeper, as goalkeepers go. He's come with quite a big price tag. So I think it's a combination of him maybe being a bit complacent, him needing to improve as a goalkeeper, but also a bit of a loss of confidence as well, because when things started not to go so well for him and us on the pitch, he come under the spotlight. There was a lot of scrutiny on him. So I think he did lose a lot of confidence. And I just think the arrival of Mandas in January was just a catalyst to him improving. I think there was a big focus on him improving, him commanding his box better, being more assured. And he's actually started catching the ball. There's balls going into the box on Saturday. He's actually claiming it instead of punching everything. And he was literally punching everything that came in the box before Christmas. And it was so frustrating because it was leading to errors. It was leading to mistakes. It was leading to chances for the opposition. He would never punch it clear convincingly. And it caused panic within the defence, within that back four, which isn't the case anymore. He just seems so much more assured. So again, it's a combination of things, really, Kirk. But I think confidence is obviously a big factor. You know, football, there's a physical element of football, but at this level, but there's also the mental aspect as well, as we've said so many times before. And I think that's huge. You know, the psychological aspect. I think he's just grown in confidence. And the more clean sheets he's got and the more games that we go unbeaten, the more confident he's got. There is a real keeper in there. I think it's a real quality keeper. And I thought so when we signed him. I thought it was actually a really good sign. People were sort of saying, would you prefer him or potentially Ramsdale in the summer or Kelleher? I think Kelleher might have been my first choice, if I'm being honest. But when we signed Petrovic for 25 mil, I thought it was a really good signing because what I'd seen of him previously, I was really impressed with. And even the Chelsea fans were really impressed overall with what he'd done at Chelsea in the time he'd been there. So for me, it was a great signing. And you have to allow it and let these players bed in, don't you? And I haven't written off players like Diakite yet because these are young lads trying to adjust at this level and improve at this level and keep improving. So you can't give up on these players. And I'm pleased really that we haven't panicked and that we haven't just dismissed Petrovic, given up on him, brought somebody else in and put him straight in as number one and left him to rot in the reserves or as a number two on the bench. I'm pleased we've actually stuck with him. We put some work into him, obviously on the training ground in every single aspect, and it's now paying dividends. So again, credit also has to go to the management team and the coaching staff for that. So yeah, brilliant to see. And those clean sheets are invaluable in our unbeaten run. They've been gold, haven't they?
So all we don't want now is to him go and have a clanger next week against Manchester City. So keep it
there's
up,
a big chance, isn't it? Yeah.
Petrovic. Keep it up. You're doing very, very well. And the good news just keeps coming, Steve, because today the nominations came out for Premier League awards, end of season. You've got Andoni Iraola in there as manager of the season nomination alongside Keith Andrews, Mikel Arteta, Michael Carrick, Labrie, Guardiola. Not only that, we've got Junior Krupi that's in the young player nomination. It's not going to show, is it? And I think Alex Scott as well, Steve, is in the EA. Is it the EA? I think it's the EA Sports Player of the Season. Alex Scott's in there. So again, a lot of recognition for the players that have been there pretty much all season. Okay, Krupi's been in and out, but the club continues to get a lot of recognition in what is becoming and likely to be our best ever Premier League season.
Yeah, rightly so as well. I mean, I was listening to some chat on the way home. I listen to TalkSport quite a lot, unfortunately. It's best of a bad bunch, really. But they were discussing this and they barely even talked about Iraola. And I was just thinking they were saying how Keith Andrews has probably done a better job. It's almost focused on him. And I thought, this is ridiculous. Everyone thought, they kept going, oh, they've lost their manager, they lost their captain, they lost this, that, and the other. We lost pretty much our whole defence. We've lost our best player this season, and we're still up there challenging with the likes of, we're above Newcastle, Chelsea, above these established big name clubs. It's quite remarkable. And yeah, the likes of Junior as well. What revelation he's been. I mean, everyone was a bit sort of mixed bag at the beginning of the season. He's only really done it in France, the French second division. But, as soon as you've seen him play a couple of times, you just knew what kind of player. I mean, we're all of an age where we all remember Jermaine Defoe. I think he's like a carbon copy of him. He's absolutely in. You remember that loan period that we had with Jermaine? It's almost like that all over again. He scored 11 in 11. I know it's not the same, but Krupi's now on 11. It's too weird, I think, but he's
I can't get away from that comparison, by the way, Steve. I made the same comparison last week. Look, in regards to build, how he strikes the ball, the types of goals he scores, he is literally this generation of Defoe. Literally.
Oh, absolutely.
But French.
Didn't get the French squad though.
Le Defoe, he is. Yeah, and I don't know what who's in. Do you know who's in the running for the other places in the Young Player of the Year?
So it was Alex Scott that's also in there. So
Scott's in there as well. Riley,
so it's Cherky, Matthias Fernandez, Lewis Hall, Coyote, Krupi, Mainu. I mean, he's only played
Mainu's hardly played
3 games. Nico O'Reilly, which I think has been.
I think O'Reilly or Cherky.
O'Reilly, yeah. O'Reilly or Cherky.
I think actually when I was
the fact
talking
Scott's
about
in there, that's got to make Tuchel sit up and take notice, isn't it?
But he's been brilliant. It's the season of his life, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
When I was talking about the EA Player of the Season, I think it was former Bournemouth player Antoine Semenyo that's up for an award.
I know he's in the Player of the Season. Yeah.
Like that. So,
but again, all these guys, and they've been brilliant this season. We've had a few blips here and there, and people are quick to jump at. Like Matt said, people have been a bit quick to jump on certain people when we've not had the rub of the green or we haven't had the right results. But let's not forget, like I just said, we lost quite a lot of our team, substantial part of our team, and a lot of these guys are only just coming into the team, coming into the country. And look, I'm not Diakite's biggest fan at the moment, but that's not to say he hasn't got potential in the future. Like Matt said, we do some work with these guys on the training ground, and Petrovic has improved. I think Traffaire's improved massively. Krupi massively. Alex Scott massively. So it's a bit of a worry that Andoni's not going to be the guy teaching these guys going forward, but let's hope Marco Rosa's got a similar style and a similar ability to improve these young players and get the best out of them.
Yeah, it still irks me talking about the internationals very quickly. Is that I know Krupi's up against a ridiculous amount of talent in that French team, but Mateta's there ahead of him, right? And it's kind of what's he really done this season? And and Krupi hasn't got in the French squad. And then you've got Treffer, who's been, as you said, consistently played every single league game, getting better and better. Luca Dean's in the French squad ahead of him. Gusto's in the French squad. Gusto's hardly played, right? Dean has had a horrific season.
He's better than both of them.
Yeah, and it's just like this is the problem we've still got. We're now 6th in the league, and we're still not getting his recognition. Scott's in the Young Player of the Year award. Tuchel's not interested in him, and this is the problem I think we've got. It's just that this is why we can end up losing players, because they're just not getting international recognition.
I mean, Luca Dean, if I was True Furt, so are we saying True Furt's not close to the French squad? Is that what we're saying?
He's not in the squad. He's not in the squad. No.
So I would be sending the clip of Rayan absolutely ruining Dean and sending it to the fresh French head coach, whatever, and go, did you not see him not even defend? I don't even know what it is. He was just admiring Rayan when Rayan scored in the North Stand. So, it's really good stuff. What I was going to say, Aaron, is, and Steve was talking about Andoni Iraola, his time at Bournemouth is coming to an end very, very soon. 180 minutes plus some injury time left. And we'll talk about Andoni Iraola maybe in a stream or two when the curtains close. But what I was going to say was, he might be walking for whatever his reasons are, right? But he's going to be in this legacy of our club for many, many, many years. He's got a long list of records he's created at the club, both club records, Premier League records. And I tell you this, 16 at least unbeaten games in the Premier League. I don't think that's ever getting broken.
I was saying to my boys the other day, I said, they've had it pretty good in the last few years, let's be honest. But I'm like, you've got to drink this in, because we're 6th in the league. We're being talked about for Champions League. You're right. Are we really going to have a 16-game unbeaten run? Could be more. 16-game unbeaten run includes wins at Arsenal, and it's just, is this going to get any better? And the longer this goes on, the longer the season goes on, the more bizarre I think the whole Andoni situation is. I just can't. I was struck. I kind of half accepted it a few weeks ago when it looked like our season was kind of going to peter out ish, and it's like Bilbao was still in the equation. I said at the time, Newcastle, Liverpool, even Arsenal if Arteta screws up, Man City, United, but all these jobs seem to, and Chelsea now, Alonso's going there, so all these jobs which he thought might be available, including Bilbao, have all gone. And since then, they've all gone. We've now had a ridiculous unbeaten run. He could take us. He definitely looks like he's going to take us into Europe, if not Europa or Champions League. And I just find the whole thing bizarre. And if he ends up at Crystal Palace, which is probably the only option in the Premier League that's available to him, if I'm being honest, I just think the whole thing's bizarre. The boys could say, on Saturday, he was at the end, he was like grinning like a Cheshire cat. He's loving life. He's adored by the fans. He's adored by the owners. Money's not an issue. I'm just struggling with it, and I understand the whole situation of him saying, leave while your stock's high, or don't leave, regret leaving rather than regret staying, etc. But I just can't get my head around why I'd want to walk away from this amazing group of players now who he clearly loves. They love him. He's still young enough. The world's his oyster. He's not going to become a bad manager overnight, let's be honest. And I just can't get my head around it. And if he regrets it, he's never going to admit it. And if he regrets it, it's irrelevant anyway, because we've got a new manager now. So I just worry that I just think, look, I hope Rosa is unbelievable, and he might well be. I feel sorry for him, because how's he supposed to top this?
Do well in Europe.
Yeah, of course, and he's got experience. I get that,
isn't it?
But we could talk about this till the cows come in. But I don't know what the others think. I just can't. And even all the pundits are now saying, "Well, why is he walking away to go to Crystal Palace?"
So Matt,
I get it.
The only place I can put myself in, because I absolutely love Andoni Iraola, to accept it or just move on from it, and Marco Rosa will have my full support, of course, is I can only think that the guy has, for me, Andoni Iraola is one of few head coaches where I think he doesn't gaslight. He's completely honest from day dot. He said he only has short-term contracts. He's going to deliver a football that we're going to enjoy. He's done it. He's been honest pre-match, post-match. So when he's had to call out certain things where the squad hasn't done well enough, he's called it out, but then he's backed it up and supported the lads when he's needed to. My view is, when he made the decision, because I think he came out before the last international break and said, I'll make a decision on return of the international break so everyone knows where they stand going into the run-in. Okay. And he pretty much did that before the first game after the international break. And I think his view was his stock is so high that there is a massive risk at the time, massive risk. He's not going to be able to replicate this. 2 fantastic seasons. With Europe potentially on the table, the squad is going to be hurt because it's not going to be a bloated squad that he's going to be able to refresh enough to play 50, 60 games. And I just think he didn't want to potentially take that risk with squad cost ratio coming in as well, that it's just going to damage his stock and he'll be looked at as potentially a 1-2 season wonder that he just had 2 good seasons. That's the only thing I can come up with, Matt, because nothing else makes sense. I think he had the backing of the club. He had the backing of Bill Foley. I think he had quite a comfortable job. He went how many games without winning and his job was never unsafe. I don't know. But saying all of that, Matt, did he jump the gun?
I mean, none of us know what goes on behind the scenes, do we? We don't know what goes on in the background. That's never going to be rolled out publicly. Nobody knows. On the face of it, everything looks rosy. But as we all know, boys, in terms of our own personal careers, there's certain things that might go on within different organisations with different individuals that that doesn't sit easy. I'm not saying that is the case, but we just don't know, do we, what's gone on behind the scenes. I would say personally, you bang on there, Kirk, when you say that his stock has never been so high, and he'll have been advised by his agent and everybody else to say, look, at this moment in time, this is the perfect and optimum time probably to get out of Bournemouth because your stock won't get higher. It's only going one way from here. It's risen to a level where you are going to be in demand as a manager at the top level. So he's obviously taken that. He's taken that consideration on board. The Crystal Palace thing doesn't sit easy with me. It doesn't sit easy with anyone, I don't think. However, I think we have to look at some degree of facts in the cold light of day. It's in London. He doesn't have to live in London, but it's in London. They are a bigger football club than us. They have expansion plans going on with their own stadium, which are far in excess of what our expansion plans are. They do play the type of football that Andoni Iraola would love to implement. They're that sort of team that they suit his style, I think. And he will feel they haven't got massive egos at the level that maybe a Chelsea has or even a Newcastle, that he can implement that style of football onto that squad of players and onto that team. So money will be a factor as well. I think Steve Parish would have gone all out. He's made it clear that he's courted him for months probably now. He's showed a real desire to bring him into the football club. With that will become a very lucrative contract, as we saw with when Jefferson Lerma left us for the same football club. So financially, it'll be attractive. From a project point of view, there is an attraction because they've got a trophy behind them. They've just won the FA Cup. They're now just about to win probably the Conference League and go into the Europa League next season. They haven't done that yet, so that is a risk. However, as Aaron said as well, I don't think he thought that would be the only card left on the table. I think he thought that he would have maybe a few more options at this stage of the season and going into the summer. So maybe there is an element that he's jumped the gun. I also think that this is him. 2 or 3 years at a football club to get them to the level. I think he feels in the back of his mind that he's probably taken us maybe as far as he can take us. We get into Europe next season, potentially the Europa League would be the most.
He hasn't.
Well, yeah, he hasn't. But are we going to win the Europa League? That's what I'm saying, Steve. We get into Europe.
How do you know? Villa are in the final.
Yeah, they are.
Tottenham won it last year, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, I just feel that maybe he feels in his own mind that he's at the top of his ceiling. His stock's never going to be high, and he's taken us as a football club as far as he can take us. And there's other opportunities out there.
There's still potentially a big job in Spain available at the end of the season.
I wouldn't rule that out. I thought that's where he'd end up. I honestly thought all along that's where he'd end up.
Well, Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Isn't Mourinho going there? Is that not happening?
Oh, has that been talked about now, is it?
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So, it's a combination of factors, Kirk, in answer to your question there. So I've outlined a number of them there. I'm just trying to get into Andoni Iraola's head because it's very difficult. Obviously, his family, he's a big family man, so his family will be a consideration. I think they're settled here, but who knows? We don't know that for a fact, do we? We don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
The fact is, if he regrets it, he's not going to say it now because we've got another manager in place.
He's not.
There's nothing you can do about it now.
I think,
too late.
and I think, well,
done.
yeah, it is absolutely. And I
It's
think
done.
I think I've seen an interview where he said his missus doesn't like football, but she might like Harrods. So it's quite close to London. So I like Steve's comment in there. It is Croydon, but as Matt said, and as like Aaron said, he doesn't have to live in Selhurst Park. There are nice places outside of that. But yeah, I'm confused by it as well. But Steve, my final point on that before we move on to a really important part of the stream, by the way, which is Guess the Player quiz coming up very, very soon. Steve, just on Andoni Iraola, it goes to show for me the respect he's got from the players, that they are literally leaving their heart on the field or their sleeve, whatever you want to call it. They are playing for him seemingly until the last game. Of course, there's rewards for them as well. There's probably bonuses involved if they achieve good things. And of course, they'll be playing European football potentially. But for me, I look at it and go, the respect that Iraola's got and the respect that probably Iraola's given back to the squad, I just see it. I'm just seeing it happen. They want to, and John said it last week, they want to achieve things for Iraola, and Iraola would like to give a parting gift to us. Yeah,
and I think remember there's a lot of youngsters in that team that would never have even dreamt of this so quickly. Look at James Hill, for example. 18 months ago, 2 years ago, he's out on loan at Blackburn in Hearts, and now he's flirting with European football, getting talked about for the England squad. So, and I don't know if anyone caught his interview on BBC Sport. That was he actually touched on this exact thing. He said, "We as a team are looking to push on to again from what they've already achieved, push on to that another level for him to finish as well as they can." And it just goes to show, like you say, how much they think of him. I'd be very surprised if around the football club, around the fan base, anybody's got a bad word to say about the guy. He's endeared himself to everybody. He's been honest, like you said. He's called things out. He's cool. He's been completely honest about everything. It's just, I think it's when you fall in love with somebody so much like we have done with him, it just makes it all more difficult to say goodbye, doesn't it? And especially when I think you feel like it's no disrespect to Palace, and like Matt said, they are a bigger club. They've got bigger stadium, whatever. But if you look at them at footballing level, I don't think there's a lot of difference. And if anything, we might be shading it. I know they've won a couple of trophies recently, but going on this season, we've shaded it. And who's to say we can't replicate some of what they've done? And I would just love to have been him.
The rest of the football world are asking as well, by the way. When you look online, they're all saying, "Why is he leaving? It could be in the Champions League." The rest of the world is saying...
That's the strange thing, isn't it? Because he could, by hook or by crook, or however we managed to get there, could be in the Champions League.
Yeah,
with us. I know it's a bit of a long shot.
Yeah.
However, if he goes to Palace, we could end up playing him in the Europa League.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just bizarre. Yeah.
Mental,
very, very interesting. So, but Fulham,
I wish I'm sure. No, I just want to say, I think, and I speak for probably most people, everyone wishes him the best, whatever he does. Yeah. He's been an absolute star for us. I mean, like you say, didn't start off amazing, but we stuck with him. The owners stuck with him. Everyone's backed him, because we saw what was developing, and that has paired some of the most amazing times and fruit that we've seen at this club. It's been a really good ride with him.
So this won't be the last conversation we have on Andoni Iraola as Bournemouth head coach, because at the end of the season, when the game's finished at the City Ground and we know what all the permutations are, we will come back on a live stream. And what I'm going to try and do, because I want to do it, is open this stream up to all fans that want to come on, that have followed Cherries Red Army, that have subscribed, that back us all season. There will be an opportunity for you to come on, join the team, and we'll have an end of season stream party You know what I'm saying? So we'll come back to that, and I'm sure there'll be loads of lovely messages.
Do you know what's
for
a bit of a
Andoni
shame
Iraola.
as well? Sorry, is that the Man City game's on a night.
I know.
Because I don't think it's a final home game. We usually have a little bit of a walk, celebration, walk round, clap all the players. I don't think we're going to get the usual thing, and that's a shame because it effectively will be a lot of time. The last time a lot of people will see him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Hit the like button, subscribe to Cherries Red Army. It's a really important part of the stream. Now, Matt's got to get off in about 10 minutes time. So we've got to do this, Matt, because he loves Guess the Player. And he wants to have another go at this week. And Steve wasn't here for last week. And we did a little bit of a twist that Stephen Dyer liked. I think Stephen
I saw it.
Did all right, didn't we?
So
guess the team, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Stephen Dyer loves Guess the Player. We've got a few fans of Guess the Player, and you can play along in the quiz in the interactive chat. But we did a bit of a twist, and Stephen Dyer did let me know that he enjoyed it. So I thought, look, it worked so well last week, Matt, that I thought I'm going to do it again, sort of. And we got Steve in play here. So let's go into it. After that Fulham 1-0 win, we're in 6th, 55 points with a 4-point gap to 8th. But we're going to move on to this part of the stream. It's Guess the Player. No, it's Guess the Players. Guess the Players. And here we go again. It's a light blue and red team outfit. And with the theme coming very, very soon at Dean Court, Andoni Iraola's last home game against Manchester City. So what I've done, lads, and what I've done for you in the chat, and you're currently watching, is I've got 7, 8. I've got 8. So it's an 8-a-side side here. Who's laughing? I can't even see on the screen. I thought someone was laughing then. Is it Aaron?
Not yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a team of 8. Okay, so basically what we're saying is I have got 8 players. It's 8 that I can find that have played for both Bournemouth or Manchester City, or have signed a professional contract with Bournemouth or Manchester City. All right?
Yeah.
Easy. Okay, so do what I did last week. I'll go round. I'll give you an opportunity. Steve's first one in here, Steve. So look, I'm not restricting you. You pick a position.
Nathan
Give you
Ake.
one of the 8. One of the 8. It's as easy as that. So one guy that played for Bournemouth and Manchester City.
Does that mean I'm through to the next round?
You're free to the next round.
When's Judges' Houses? That's what I want to know.
So that I think what I did last week is if you got it wrong, you were out. But we'll see how we get on. Aaron.
Yeah.
Let's go with the next position. What are you going for?
One of my favourite players of all time, centre midfield, the passing maestro, Ian Bishop.
Oh,
He is in there. He is in there.
Yeah.
And I have got him in midfield. So as you can see, I've gone for a 1-3-1-3. So Bishop is just going to clear everything up and get us going. Play along in the chat. I can't see the chat at the moment because I'm concentrating on the pitch. But Matt, another position, please.
Yeah, I'll go for the obvious one, I suppose. Get that out of the way. The attacker, Anton Semenyo.
Oh, what a shock. Will be returning to Dean Court for the first time in a blue shirt next Tuesday. Antoine Semenyo is
Will
in
he
this
celebrate?
eight.
Will he celebrate a goal?
He's in this side. He's played for both Bournemouth and Manchester City. Back to you then, Steve. It's going to get tougher.
Can I do the goalkeeper?
Yeah.
I'm going to go David James.
Good one, Steve. Was it one season, wasn't it? One season?
We had for half a season. He played about 13 games for us or something.
He did.
Let me just dive into
It was
the
2000
chat
and
as
it was
we're
a League One. Was it the first champ season?
I think it was League
Was
One.
it 12? Was it
League
12, 2012, around that time?
Yeah, about
League
then.
One. Yeah.
I remember it vividly because I was thinking, bloody hell, we're going places. We got David James.
Yeah.
League
Mark
One.
Davies is late to the party, so he can get involved. Right, let's go back. Where are we? Aaron. I need a striker, attacker, defender, or a defender.
I've only got 2 more I can think of, and one of them is I think it was definitely a striker for them, but ended up playing right back for us, managing us. That's Lee Bradbury.
Yeah, I'm going to put him at right back or in the defence, but he did. He did play up. He did play in attack as well, didn't he? But he's there. He's in
was a
there.
striker,
Right, Matt.
yeah.
It's getting harder.
Yeah, it is. I've got 2 up my sleeve. So
I've only
do
got
I
one.
go
Don't
with
use one of
defender
mine.
I've only got one
or
left.
striker?
What you got,
So
Matt?
I'm going to go with Paul Molden.
Oh, good
Oh.
call. Who I thought
Now-
of either.
I haven't got that one.
Well,
I'm
he
not going to
definitely
say you're
takes
out.
place.
Definitely
He
did.
wasn't-
I haven't got, but that is a fair. You said you had 2, so I haven't got that one. So if that's a fair shout, fair play to you. Well done.
Yeah,
Definitely is, isn't it?
Have you got
1989.
what's your second one? I haven't got that one.
Have I got to go again?
Go
I've
on,
got
go
to use them
again.
both up.
Yeah,
Kevin Bond.
I haven't got that one either in this side.
Didn't get him either.
You're
All right, well
boys.
that's you're still in the game, right, Steve? There's 2 I haven't got in this side.
I've
What have
only
you
got one
Steve?
left, and well, I can't. There's another one, but I can't remember his name. And he was a winger, young lad. He played about Donald McDermott.
Oh, I tell you what,
I'm sure
he's
we.
got
I'm sure
chaos,
we.
isn't he?
I'm sure
I
we
haven't
signed
got-
him from.
I
from
haven't
Man
got-
City.
verify that in the chat. But I remember he did play a few League Cup games as well, didn't he?
He was
Under-
from
yeah,
Man
he-
City. Yeah.
He played
He
against
was from Man
Huddersfield in the
City,
playoffs
wasn't he?
as well.
Again, I'm not going to kick you out because that's a
But
fair.
no, that's
shout.
not the one I had. But that was one. I don't know
Okay.
if we had him on a loan. I don't know if it was.
I've
a
got
loan.
someone else I can think of on the loan, actually.
Okay, and
the
also,
winger.
can I just say here, I don't have all day just to start sitting there trying to look up ex-born for Manchester
The
City.
bloke we had in
Very
1963, Kirk. That
So good shout.
my
Not in this
genuine
team, though.
shout. My genuine shout is Sylvain Distan.
Ah, that's my one. Yeah.
Is
Ah.
definitely in here. That is definitely in here. He's definitely.
I'm
in. So
out
we've
now.
Finished it now. Now, interestingly, what have we got in the chat? Now, interestingly, guys, let me come back onto screen. So we need an attacker and a striker, right? Who just went? Who did you? Who went Distan? Was it Steve?
Aaron, that's-
Me.
Steve,
So right. So Aaron,
I ca-
think more current.
how's Molden
Think-
not the striker, by the way? I don't understand it.
no.
But anyway,
Think more. Right. So think about this, Aaron, and think about the rules that I set. Okay. So I said had to have played for Bournemouth or Manchester City or signed a professional contract with Bournemouth or Manchester City. Now think more current.
Oh.
I'm helping you.
current.
Easy.
Current.
I've got it. I've got one
If
of
you
them.
if you want to hand it over, Aaron, to Steve, you can.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
We can make it a team event if you want.
Give me. No, I haven't got. I can't think of
Steve.
it.
David Brooks.
Oh wow!
He was.
Wow!
He was a Man
He
City.
came,
as
he
well.
came through the Man City Academy,
Is he a
didn't he?
schoolboy?
That's who I had
You're
up my
right,
sleeve.
you're
Did he
rubbish
sign a
at this.
professional contract?
He did
Did
for
he
us.
sign a professional?
Yeah,
It's still
that's who I
not
was
the one
gonna-
I've got. That's a great
Wow.
shout because he was at Sheffield United, wasn't he, when we purchased
But
him?
before that,
Yeah.
Did he sign a
City
professional
before
contract?
that. That's who I was going to say.
Right. I'm gonna squeeze this up. That's a great shout, by the way. It's not in my list. Matt, I'm gonna make this even more easy now.
yeah, I've just
He's-
seen the
I think
chat.
Right? It's in the chat.
Oh.
It's in the chat, Matt. He's playing in the Premier League. Well, they both are playing in the Premier
I
League.
can't believe
now.
none of us have got this one.
He scored his only goal for Bournemouth, Matt, at Luton
I was there
in the Scott Parker season.
Ah,
and we lost.
was he at Yeah, Morgan Rogers. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now, guys, how can I give this one to you?
What have we got left then?
We've got one
By the way-
striker that I've got in there.
It's not a striker, but I've just thought of someone else.
Go on.
Remember Tony
It's going to make
Scully?
2 teams out of this.
Yeah, I
Rooney
thought him.
Smalling. Yeah.
Tony Scully.
Nah, see,
He
I haven't
wasn't a
got that
striker,
one
he was a
either.
winger.
John doesn't think Brooks signed a pro contract at City. He was
Give us a clue for the
striker.
striker then, Kirk. Give us some sort of clue.
I'm going to give it away now.
Go on.
He's a current Bournemouth player.
Eh?
He's a current
NSU
Bournemouth
now?
player.
Oh, NSU now. Jesus.
know.
Christ.
NSU now.
When did he play? Was he on the?
No, he did
Oh,
sign for
blimey.
them years ago.
Yeah.
He
Did he really?
Yeah.
He did.
They got him as a
Didn't play much.
teenager, didn't they?
Wow. Sorry, shout
Mark-
out to him because you know what? On the last 10, 15 minutes, he put on a hell of a shift at Fulham. To be fair to him.
Matt
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
and Aaron, you might. Do you remember Matt Mills?
Yeah. Centre
Yes.
half.
Did
Yeah.
he play for City?
I think
He was
so.
only on loan with us, wasn't he?
I'm still reeling from Paul Molden and Kevin Bond. If I'm honest. Fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I think Mills did play for City. He was a hell of a player, Matt Mills. For us.
Yeah,
I tell you what. Again, I put well done everyone in the chat, and it's
we could have put a 22 out.
I mean, literally, I was just.
You only got 8.
Yeah, I suppose I did.
I reckon we should flip this and do it on you, Kirk. You got to name them.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. But I tell you what, though, some of the shout outs is a great job. Right, Matt, you've got to dive off, and it's your good lady's birthday coming up, so you're gonna dive off very quickly. Is it today?
It is today. Yeah.
Happy birthday to your wife. Yeah. And
Thanks,
that's some commitment to Cherries Red Army, by the way.
Don't talk about birthdays and wives.
She's absolutely
my wife's
fuming.
birthday's on the Nottingham Forest game.
She's livid. Yeah, she's fuming.
She's fuming.
I outlined the expectations early, Kurt. Cherries Red Army, Sandy's birthday, head.
but you've got other things up your sleeve, maybe.
Wow, quite possibly.
Don't want to talk about it here.
Yeah, that's off camera. That talk.
Yeah, that's for the weekend.
We got our last 30 minutes to do, which we're going to talk about Manchester City and potentially predict what the final Premier League table will look like for game 37 and game 38. Thank you for joining us on this latest stream. Though it's been very good. Very quickly though, can we get your final thoughts on Manchester City and a score prediction?
Yeah, Manchester City. I think Steve put it in the chat earlier. I was going to mention Smith versus Doku as a concern. It's just typical that we've got two pivotal players in Jimenez and Christie are going to be missing because they're probably two of the players that you'd really want for this game. However, I haven't given up on it. I feel City after the cup final will be, hopefully a little bit burnt out. Massive pressure on them. They have to win the game. So I feel like we can get something, boys. Whether we'll win it or not, I don't know, but it could be a ding-dong battle. I'm going for a draw. I'm going for a Desmond on this one. I think there'll be goals.
Okay, 2-2.
I'll go 2-2, and I'll take that all day long. We go to Forest, win that, and we get 6th. Happy days.
I feel like that scoreline might come out in about 20 minutes' time a few times.
Because Sandy's texting me going, "Can you answer the door?"
Yes, I'm gone. Cheers, boys. Always a pleasure.
See you later,
Great
Matt.
stream. Stay there, Matt. We're going to go into our final section of this latest stream here on Cherries Red Army. Don't worry, I'm going to fill Matt's spot. He's behind the scenes. He's ready to go. But I need you to subscribe to Cherries Red Army if you're new around here. More importantly, hit that like button. At short notice, just like Adam Smith, he got his kit on. He's got his boots on. Simon Kay is...
He's younger, though, isn't he? He's younger than Smudger.
He stepped up to the line, Simon Kay, and he's ready to go for 30 minutes off the bench. How are you, Simon?
I can't hear you, mate.
You can't hear us. It's your sound. It's not us.
We can hear you.
My sound.
We can hear you.
I'll come back.
Log back out, Simon. Log back in. It was almost a good entrance. This latest fixture, well, we have got Man City coming up on Tuesday, Steve, but they have very quickly for them, because this is not a Manchester City channel. They've got a big game ahead of them this weekend. I think it must be on a Saturday. It's an FA Cup final. They won the Carabao Cup earlier on in the season, I think. So this is looking for a double cup competition. Big game for them. And how do they approach it leading up to Bournemouth on Tuesday?
I can hear you now.
Oh,
good.
Are you good?
Steve.
I'm wonderful. I'm liking your hair, Steve. But carry on.
Thank you.
Go on, Steve. Talk to us very quickly about Man City's FA Cup before us.
FA Cup final. They will want this. And I can't see the way Chelsea are playing at the moment and the way City are playing at the moment. I don't really think it matters who they put out of their squad. It's so littered with stars and decent players. They've been rotating quite a lot recently, as do many teams who've got football on many fronts. I see this going one way on Sunday, and and I think they will rest players and they'll still beat Chelsea. Unfortunately for us, we're just hopefully that they'll go out on the piss afterwards, get absolutely wrecked, and they'll still be hungover come Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever it is. Yeah. So it's. I think they're fighting on all fronts, aren't they? So
they rotated heavily last night.
They did, and they still.
And I think the title's done now, and I think they'll play a strongest team in the cup final. And see what's left for us.
I don't think they'll take the foot off the gas. I still think
I'm not saying they will, but I think the FA Cup was if they were
still a priority.
If they were still level in the league. I think they would rested a few more players for the cup, but I think that's their priority now.
Well, yeah, absolutely, because it's the biggest chance of winning something. But I still think Pep, being Pep, will want to stay in the title hunt as long as he possibly can, and hope that Arsenal slip up. And unfortunately, that doesn't bode well for us.
No. I still back us anyway. We beat them last season at home, as we know. Even Ilson got on the score sheet. I still back us, but I think this could play into our favour, the fact that they've got this big cup final. Now, Simon, I gave you a big intro that you didn't hear me. I said, you put your kit on, you've got your boots on, you're currently on mute, so just be aware you're currently on mute. And I said, you've stepped up to the touchline to come off the bench for 30 minutes. How are you doing, Simon, after the weekend?
Super sub, I suppose you can call me if you like. Oh, I'm fine now. I was crying, though. I was one of the crying army. I mean, what a moment. It was
crazy.
We were talking last week, Simon, and you're in a similar boat. I mean, my boy's 19 now, and we were speaking last week about how they've had it so good, the younger generation, and there's so many Bournemouth fans that are so young now. And my boy's been going since he's 3, 4, since I think his first game was against Bury in the League One when I took him. But all he's ever really seen is one relegation to the Championship and 2 Championship seasons after that, and back in the Premier League. And similar for Josh, really, he's only had that one relegation. It's been so good for them. But again, similar to Charlton at the Valley, which I've got a photo that will never leave my gallery with me and Owen at the Valley. I think we're going to look back and there's going to be moments at Fulham for you and Josh. And I think, again, potentially at home to Manchester City, and again, potentially at the City Ground. These are going to be photos and memories that are just going to live with us for probably the rest of our lives if this goes the way we want it to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I won't be at the City game because I'll be in Las Vegas, believe it or not, working.
Oh,
so I missed that game.
What are you watching? The Golden Knight?
Did you say gambling?
No, I'll be there working at an event, but if the Golden Knights do win tonight, I will try and get a ticket for one of the matches because they should be happening next week.
Okay.
So I might get to watch the Cherries in a bar in between meetings and then go to a Golden Knights match after that. But anyway, back to your point. Yes, very special moments. They don't know anything else, but I think that's great to have in our fan base that for the future, because they will always be looking forward and not necessarily looking back. You know, we're always remembering the -17 season, not having any money, you know, rescuing the club, everything that goes with that, which I think sometimes in some parts of the fan base always makes us feel huge gratitude for where we are. But if you haven't had that before, you want more. You want to get to the next level. You want to keep pushing on. So that's what I think they see. They see the future and what the future could be at the next stage. It's going to be a new level. Forest away will be an amazing day. Can't wait for it. But they'll be looking for more, and so am I.
Stephen Dyer, Simon says, great cameo on BBC Football Focus. So well done for that.
Thank you. As long as next time if I do it, they don't put a blooming clock in my ear and make me speed up like anything.
TikTok. So are you responsible for it being cancelled?
Always. It's always on me somewhere. I'll take that one on the chin.
Steve, very, very quickly, because I want to move on to the match predictor that we're talking about. Where's the game won and lost on Tuesday against Manchester City? Let me just see if I can sort of get the lineups up. I mean, take this with a pinch of salt, because obviously they've got this FA Cup game. There's the pitch, if you can see it, Steve, because I know you're on a different device than you're normally on. But where's the game won and lost or drawn on Tuesday next week?
I think this could be very pivotal for Scott and Adams and our defence as a unit, which has been really, really good of late, and if they can continue that vein of form and somehow sort of keep City quite quiet, I think our attack can cause their defence, because I don't think their defence is that great. I think you can cause problems there. I think Nunes has been playing right back most of the season. He's not really a right back. Who they got on the other side? Aït-Nouri's fit again, isn't he? And Guardiola's back in. A little bit of a boost, but I just think you can get at that at Man City's defence, and they will come at us, so they will be susceptible to the counter attack. And we've got, we know the pace of Rayan, we know that Krupi's quick, Evan Nilsson's a pain in the arse. He'll be at them the whole game. Adams likewise, and Scott just doing his usual, Scott pulling the strings. And I just think if their over eagerness gets, to try and win the game, doesn't go as they plan, it could leave massive gaps for us. And the form we're in, it's going to be. It's also. It's weird to say this, but it's almost like a heavyweight boxing match. It's two, champions, big heavyweights slugging it out. You look at both those teams and go, the attacking potential of both of them teams. I mean, people say all the time they want to watch Bournemouth play because we're entertainers, and we're playing against Man City, who are going to be coming at us. I think it's going to be a bit of a ding dong. I think who was it? Matt said 2-2. I unfortunately am going to sway to their side. I think they're going to narrowly beat us, but I think it'll be goals, and I think it'll be something like a 3-2.
Yeah, it's really hard to predict, Simon, the lineups, because I've looked at that lineup, and as I said, take that with a pinch of salt. But it goes to show how big and how good their squad is, because O'Reilly's not in there, Gahey's not in there, Haaland's not in there, although Marmoush has obviously scored against us previously, albeit at the Etihad. It's going to be a tough game, but really, 16 unbeaten, I just feel like we go into every game thinking we can get something. And I very much look at this game and say a point, although we beat them last season at home, a point would be a fantastic result.
Yeah, I'd take the point now. I wouldn't say I'd bite your hand off for it, but I'd take it right now.
It's Europe, isn't it?
That's all we need.
And if it's a 2-2, whatever the score is, I think that's what I predict is a 2-2. I take it. In terms of how the match pans out, I think the biggest thing will depend on how high a line we set away at their place. We played with an unbelievably high line and lost to two quick, ticky-tackers or cock-ups from our defensive perspective, however we want to break it down. So that's one of the areas where I think it'll be interesting to see how we set up. And I don't think we'll be that high this time. I think it will be one on the wings. I think Truefair down our left, countering their right. But at the same token, it'll be interesting to see what we do with Rayan and Adam Smith. So yes, that's a potential Doku issue. Maybe because Rayan doesn't tend to track back perhaps as much as we'd like him to. You might see Scott filling in a little bit there to kind of cover that off a little bit more, because there are going to be times we're going to have to double up, and I'm not sure whether that will be high and that will do it. So it'll be interesting where we decide to counter. Will it be through the middle? So I agree that's probably where we would miss Ryan Christie, because he has that quick turn. Could we see David Brooks playing the 10 again? Was that a test in the last home game, which worked quite well, where he had that assist for Rayan? So there are some interesting possibilities in the way we may set up to counter that and maybe attack them through the middle of their defence, which I still don't think is the strongest.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tav comes in at the 10, because we might need more bodies in there. It means Krupi might have to, or Ever will have to step out of the team, or start on the bench, because we've got a multitude of wingers who can play instead of Tav on the left. I wouldn't surprise me if he goes Tav, Scott, and Adams and really try and dominate that midfield a bit more.
Aaron, Mark does make a very good point, though. Everton put 3 past them the other week. They absolutely collapsed in rapid time. And I know he's got a Champions League medal, and I know he's probably up there as one of the best goalkeepers, but I don't think Donnarumma has been amazing lately.
Oh, look, I mean, he's a great keeper. Look, I just think it's all about the mindset. We've had a 10. We'll have had a 10-day break. We'll be nice, fresh, and energized. They've had 2 games in between since we last played, and one of them, as we all know, is going to be on Saturday against Chelsea. I'm sure they'll win the game, but it's an FA Cup final, big Wembley pitch. It's going to be tiring, and we play them 2.5 days later. So I think that's going to play in our favour. Yeah, I think it's going to be very, very tough. I would be more concerned, as I said before. I'd be more concerned if them and Arsenal were level, because I think the City would win every game they need to. But I just think that's kind of, they've lost that little edge against Palace last night. Yeah, they won 3-0. Palace are completely on the beach. They're not interested in the league at the moment, and it took them quite a long time. And they weren't great last night, City, if I'm being honest. And the Everton game, as you said, Everton really got in behind them and caused them a huge amount of problems. So we can definitely do that.
Okay, so what we could do, guys, is we could just take all the nerves away, because there's 2 games to go. The end of May, the season comes to an end, potentially our greatest ever finish for a Premier League season and potentially Europe. And what I was thinking, Steve, Aaron, Simon, is we could just help everyone out and let's just predict the results, right? We'll predict the results for game 37, game 38, and hopefully we're in the top 6. Potentially that's Champions League, and we could all sleep well tonight. That's my thinking. That is my thinking. So what we're going to do, because we've literally got 13, 14 minutes left of this stream. Okay. So we are going to have to go through this in some quick fire time.
Ultra cautious. Or are we going to go for it?
I would say just go with your gut, because we're going to need to get these score predictions out in quite rapid time. Some of these scores we can throw out because they're not really going to impact us. But I do want to get your score predictions for this. I would say play along at home. I'm not going to really be able to look at the chat too much, but especially for the Bournemouth results, I do want to know your Bournemouth scores. So let's just do this. And I think this is all correct. We're using the website here. This is game 37. So Steve, Aston Villa versus Liverpool, score prediction.
Liverpool 2-1.
2-1. Aaron, Brentford, Crystal Palace.
Unfortunately, Brentford will win that comfortably. 3-1.
Score predict 3-1.
3-1.
Okay. Simon, Everton, Sunderland.
2-1.
2-1 to Everton.
Yep.
That's a worrying scoreline as we go into game 38, I think. Right.
Yep.
Leeds, Brighton. Leeds are safe, but I think they're all right. I think they're still playing till the end. I think they might get a draw at home against Brighton. I'm going 1-1.
It's their last home game, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Manchester United, Nottingham Forest, Steve.
United 1-0.
Oh. Aaron, Newcastle, West Ham.
I want Tottenham down. Newcastle 0, West Ham 2. And I bloody hope that's the score.
Simon, the amazing Wolverhampton Wanderers that are in. Well, they are.
This is a big game. What a classic
against Fulham.
This is the crux of it, Simon.
This is 1-3. Just get on with it. Let's run past it.
Okay, Steve. Arsenal last home game at the Emirates against Burnley.
I see this as an absolute humiliation. I'm going to go 5-0.
Oh wow. Okay. So we come back to the Bournemouth scores
because it's just the goal difference thing.
Okay, let's come back to the Bournemouth scores.
Bournemouth, why don't we all give an opinion and see what the consensus is?
Yeah, let's do that. So, Aaron, Chelsea, Tottenham on the 19th of May.
Yeah, I'm just going to play devil's advocate here because
you just want Tottenham.
I want to assume other teams around us who can catch us are going to win. So Chelsea will win 2-1.
2-1.
Tottenham never win at Stamford Bridge.
They don't.
Very rarely.
Final day of the season, Simon. Brighton against Manchester United.
2-2.
Oh, Desmond.
Sure.
Steve, Burnley Wolves, another cracker.
Nobody cares. 9-all.
I can't even put that in. Let's just go for a 1-1. Aaron, Crystal Palace,
3-0 Arsenal. 3-0 Arsenal, champions. Good night.
Simon, Fulham, Newcastle at Craven Cottage.
I've had both Fulham games. How did that work out? We'll go with a 3-2 to Newcastle.
Oh, okay. Steve, Liverpool, Brentford. This could be a key game. This could be a key game, Steve, for Liverpool finishing 4th and Brentford.
I think Liverpool shade it as well. I think I'm going to shade it No, just a comfortable 2-0 actually.
Yeah, I hope so. I do hope
I love
so.
it how you
It's Liverpool home, last game of the season.
Steve,
and
I love it
Salah's
how you
last
go,
game.
shade it. No, actually, 2-0.
No, I thought, but it's last game of the season. They'll put on a show for their fans. They'll cement themselves in Champions League.
Man City, Aaron, Villa. I mean, I'm sure they had that fixture on the last day of the season a few years ago. But anyway, Man City, Villa at the Etihad.
Yeah, City will win that. Villa will just play the Europa League final, whether they win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully do us a favour as well. So yeah, 2-0 City.
Okay. We'll come back to Bournemouth. Simon, Sunderland, Chelsea.
1-3.
Oh, now
Chelsea
I'm getting slightly
us.
worried.
Chelsea are getting there.
Tottenham. We're back to Steve. I should give one. Tottenham, Everton.
The
No,
next two games of the relegation
Everton win
situation.
I think that's 2-2. I don't think Tottenham lose their last game under De Zerbi at home. I think that's 2-2. Steve, West Ham, Leeds.
I think Leeds won't care by that point, so I'm going to go for West Ham 4-3.
Oh God, okay, that'll be.
It's an exciting way of saying 1-0.
I love this.
Okay.
9-all and a 4-3 from Ennis.
Yeah. Right. So
But on the last day, you always get that thing, don't you? It's like, oh, quick, we got to go over to here. There's a goal, and there's another goal, and it's all swings backwards and forwards.
We're going to go around the room. So what we're going to do, we've got the Bournemouth scores to do then. So quickly in the chat then. So Bournemouth against Manchester City in the chat. You've got like literally 10 seconds, and hopefully the stream is not too slow. Can we get your score prediction in the chat for Bournemouth, Manchester City, and we'll sort of find an average. Steve, Bournemouth, Manchester City at home. I think you did give your score.
I think we'll narrowly lose this. 3-2.
3-2. Let me just throw this in the chat. Yeah, so let's just have your predictions in the chat. Aaron.
I don't know. Look, anything can happen in these games. I can see any result, but I'm actually gonna. Again, I'm being the pessimistic, cautious one, and I want to kind of see worst case scenarios and how we end up. So we're going to lose 2-1. The unbeaten run's over, but we'll give them a hell of a fright.
Okay, so that's 2 losses. Garrett said 2-1 to City. There's a lot of results in here for City. 2-0 to City, Simon. 3-2 to City. There's a couple of draws that I'm trying to hang on to here. 4-4, 1-1.
I'm Desmond. I'm 2-2.
I could see a draw.
Amid's in saying hello.
I could see a draw, but I just think
2-1.
for the drama of this, I think
2-2.
we should put a defeat.
Okay, so
it's not inconceivable we'll lose.
I'm with you, Stephen. I think we can do this. But okay. Let's go back over to the screen. Let's put us down for a 2-1 loss. Wasn't that a Sterling result?
Boo.
Or didn't we lose 2-1 with Sterling?
That was a Charlie Daniels goal.
Was it? Okay, right. In the chat. Bournemouth at the City ground versus Nottingham Forest. Score predictions in the chat, 30 seconds. And we've got to think about this now, guys.
All I can say is, based on
Simon.
the scores we've given Everton and the other teams and Chelsea, we lose this and we're not getting top 8. Based on what we've done so far. I'm just telling you that.
So Simon, it's final day of the season. It's Andoni Iraola's final. It's Andoni Iraola's final game. We don't lose at the City ground. Your score prediction for that game?
We win 3-2 with a smudger last-minute winner.
Okay, Steve. Bournemouth Forest.
I'm not going to go 3-2 because we've had a lot of 3-2s there, haven't we?
Let's have another one.
Yeah, maybe hat trick. I'll go for the 2-1 to us.
Aaron,
I think we win.
Yeah, I think we win. I think the Fat Forest. I know it's their last home game of the season. They won't have
anything to play for.
They have got literally nothing to play for. I'm hoping that they won't even bother risking Gibbs White because he's got a horrific injury. So why risk him ahead of the World Cup?
Nothing's going to give them greater impetus though than to do one over us. When we've constantly done
course.
Look,
a mate of mine said they never get anything at home to Bournemouth at the City ground. There's this little bit of banter that we've had over the last few seasons. They would love nothing more than to trip us up. And although I think, my fear is, as I said to you offline, is that look, it's not inconceivable we lose to Man City. We've said we're going to lose to Man City, and it's very likely that Chelsea and Everton win 2 very winnable games.
And all it takes is for Hill to be sent off in the first minute for something, just whatever it is. These games can turn. And at Forest at the City Ground, they are having a celebration of another good season. It's not going to be easy at all. So I think I'm going to say we're going to win, but it could be a bit squeaky at sometimes. Where we're sitting now with 2 games to go, with a 96.7% chance we're getting a European place. At 4:30 on that last day or whatever it is, it could be very, very different if our results go against us.
Right, let's quickly just fly through the chat. So Omid says a draw at Forest potentially, 3-1 to Bournemouth, 2-1 to the Cherries. So we're all feeling confident we will win again in Nottingham. 4-1. Josh is having a party. John Sparks going for 3-1 to the Ches. You now free kick 95th minute, 2-1, 3-2 Ches, 2-0, 2-2 Omid coming in with. 4-1 to the Cherries. And I think, although I take on board what my mate said about Forest absolutely wanting to play for this, even though they're now up and they're safe, I still think we win. So let's head back over. So shall we put in, I know there was different score lines there, but we put a 2-1 loss in against Manchester City. Should we put a 2-1 win in for us, right? Worst case
scenario.
In all
honesty, even a point's good enough. I'll take 1 point for the next 2 games, guarantees us Europe. I would snap your hand off now.
Are you ready for me to generate this?
Yeah, baby, let's go.
This could be potentially the table. And I'm hitting the calculate new table in the background. You ready for me to show it? Okay.
Go on.
Let's do it. So based on what we've said, Arsenal would win the league with 85 points.
We're in
Manchester
Champions
City
League. Yes.
Would be 81. Man United would be 3rd with 69. Liverpool 65. Villa would finish 5th. If they win Europa League, we would finish 6th with 58. Brighton 55, although I put them down for a draw. Chelsea 55. Brentford 54. Everton 53. We don't have a great goal difference. We need to be careful of that, especially against Brighton.
The good news there is that even if we lose at Forest, we'll still get the Conference League based on that.
Yeah. But if Villa win the Europa League, guys, Steve, we're going to Hala Madrid.
Well, only if we get drawn against them. We'll probably get we'll probably get Bodo Clint and some other like far-fetched places. No,
I mean, would we have to qualify? Surely we'd have to qualify. That's
exactly what I was going to ask. I'm sure we have to qualify, do we not?
We probably would, wouldn't we?
I don't know how it works
these days.
Do you not?
You just go straight into it.
Well, that was John will probably know in the chat.
Because that's the last thing we want. If we have to qualify and get knocked out, I'd rather be in the Europa League.
I just want to look at that again. That would be, as said in the chat, our best ever position finish, our best ever point finish. And on the Monday, on Bank Holiday Monday, Simon, Andoni Iraola's walking in at Camford Magna with a brown cardboard box and clearing his desk. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, we can all have conjecture over how that came about or why, etc., etc. And has he made that decision? I don't know whether we're going to talk about that briefly, or have the club made that decision because he wouldn't commit based on timelines that the club wanted to work to. I don't know. We'll find out one day. I wish him well. Enjoy your cardboard box and wherever you end up with it. That's what I say.
Oh, Aaron, Spurs are down.
I know. I did notice that, but I actually don't think West Ham will beat Newcastle.
I think West Ham. How have West Ham got to there?
Because we said they're going to beat Newcastle and beat Leeds. I don't think they will.
Right. Okay. I still think Spurs will stay up personally, but as part of this stream, they're down. Aaron, good.
Yeah.
That was just a bit of fun.
I will take all of that now.
And although I'd like to say that you will sleep easy tonight, I'm not sure how much we actually know between all 4 of us, especially me. So it's going to be a little bit closer than that, likely. But it's been a great stream. Thank you for joining us live and interactive again on our YouTube channel here at Cherries Red Arm. Do subscribe, do hit the like button. Thank you to Matt earlier on that came on and played his part talking about the Fulham game. Finally, though, Steve, we haven't got a game at the weekend. Thanks for being on another stream. We will have more between now and the end of the season, and we will have an end of year or end of season stream, shall we say, in a bit of a party, hopefully. But your final thoughts as you go into the weekend, and then we come out of the weekend with Manchester City and Andoni Iraola's last home game.
Well, I'm gonna hang around outside Wembley, and I'm gonna when Man City win that cup, I'm going to stand by the coach and I'm going to give them all a crate of beer. Hope they're absolutely trolleyed for Tuesday night. And Europe, here we go. Apparently, we don't have to qualify, which is
okay,
which is a bonus.
Good.
So yeah, I look. It regardless of what happens. Look, this season's been amazing. We've talked about memories that we'll take with us for a long time. We've had many again this season, and we've watched some incredible football. We've had some incredible away games, incredible home matches. We've watched some of the best players we've ever had. We've certainly watched the best coach we've ever had. And yeah, it's a shame it's coming to an end, but there could be, a silver lining to that cloud. So
absolutely,
let's take the positives out of it. And who knows, Marco Rosa might turn out to be a level above Andoni.
I say let's hope so, but I am going to. It's going to be sad to see.
We didn't think anyone could emulate Eddie Howe, and how wrong were we there?
I thought you were going to say Gary O'Neill then, but
Jonathan Woodgate.
Aaron, has this stream made you feel a little bit more comfortable about the next 2 games, or not?
Not really. I mean, it's just my nature. It's just my nature. I want to get the job done, whether we get a point against City or other results go our way. I want to go to the City ground, not care, without just obviously just party, but it's not going to happen like that, I'm sure. But I'm pretty sure over the 2 games we'll get at least a point, if not more, as we've said. And I'm sure the sequence of events will mean that we'll get there by hook or by crook, 6th, 7th, or 8th, hopefully. But yeah, brilliant. Thanks for having me on, and bring it on.
And final thoughts, Simon, for stepping in for Matt for the last 30 minutes. You've had a good cameo, and safe trip to Las Vegas. We'll see you at the City ground, hopefully, for the final game of Andoni Iraola's reign. But your final thoughts and anything else you want to say to Bournemouth fans as we prepare for Manchester City in 5 days.
Live it, love it, enjoy it. It's going to happen. I don't care which European competition we end up in, but we're going to be in Europe. Get your savings ready. Get your passport renewed. We are going on European travels. That's all I'm going to say.
I genuinely have to get mine renewed.
Me too. I'm not even lying. I need to do it. Both mine and Owen's is expired.
And same question for all 3 of you. How are you going to negotiate the children's situation on these European trips? Because mine are going to want to come to some for sure.
Oh, well, mine's 19, so he might do what he wants, to be fair.
Mine's homeschooled, so that's easy.
Right. Lucky then.
And
I'm just going to sneak them into my hand luggage.
There'll be a few dental appointments at school, I think, some coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Brilliant. Really enjoyed it again. And it helps when you're 16 unbeaten and you're just having the time of your life, and it's going to come to an end very, very soon. But if it's European football on the cards next season, well, we'll all be happy. Thank you to Matt again that was on earlier on. Thanks to Simon. Thanks to Aaron. Thanks to Steve. More importantly, thanks to you guys for joining us on another live stream. It's been a really, really good one. Enjoy your weekend. Kick back. Have a look at Manchester City and see how they do in the FA Cup final. And I hope they are a little bit hungover when they come to Dean Court. Let's give Andoni a really good send-off next week. And then let's give him his final send-off on the road following that at the City ground. But look after yourselves for the rest of the week, wherever you're following us around the world. 16 unbeaten. Rayan. Look after yourself. See you on the next one. You Cherries.
Cherries.
You Reds.